The 13 Nights After Death, the soul's mysterious journey. Have you ever wondered what truly happens when someone leaves this world? When the body turns still, when the breath fades away, does the soul simply end, or does a new journey begin? A journey more real, more vivid than this physical life? India's ancient traditions and the enlightened words of masters like Paramahansa Yogananda reveal a secret. The 13 Nights After Death are not just rituals. They are a mystical voyage, a sacred transition where the soul chooses between rest, wandering, or rebirth. But how does this choice happen? Does the soul still see us? Does it wish to speak, to whisper something we cannot hear? And the greatest question of all, does it ever return? Let us walk together through this unseen realm. The 13 days we often dismiss as mere custom, but which are, in truth, the soul's decisive moments. The first night, awakening beyond death. Imagine this. You've just taken your last breath. Your chest has grown still. Your body lies calm, but your awareness is still alive. You can see everything, the faces, the tears, the prayers. But you cannot move. You cannot speak. This is the first night of the soul. A silence deeper than any silence you've known. A mystery that every spirit must face alone. Death, as Yogananda said, is not an end. It is the opening of life's most sacred doorway. The soul looks at its own body, lifeless, empty, a shell it once called me. The cries of loved ones reach it, but it cannot respond. Slowly, it begins to realize, I am no longer part of that world. It rises gently, drawn by an invisible force, looking down upon its family, its home, every place and person it ever loved. And then, something magical happens. Before the soul's eyes unfolds a grand panorama. Every act of kindness, every wound, every smile and sin begin to replay like a moving film. This is the beginning of the Great Review, the soul witnessing the story of its own life. The subtle journey begins. As the first night fades, the soul crosses the threshold where voices and touch no longer reach. It now enters a subtle realm. A world made not of matter but of vibration, where emotions have colors, thoughts have fragrance, and truth has form. Here, the soul confronts itself, its past, its love, its regrets, its every action. There are no judges, no punishments. Only a divine mirror. In this mirror, the soul feels what others once felt. Every pain it caused, it now experiences. Every joy it gave, it now bathes in again. This is the echo of karma, purifying the soul for its onward path. A divine guide appears, sometimes as light, sometimes as an ancestor, sometimes only as a vibration. The guide leads the soul toward the next destination. For some, this journey is luminous, like ascending to heaven. For others, it is heavy, filled with confusion and sorrow. Because karma is not merely what we did. It is the intention with which we did it. The middle days, wandering or peace. The soul now stands at a delicate threshold. It has seen the truth of its actions, but it still feels the pull of love, the ache of attachment. This is the mid-period, the wandering phase. For 13 days, the soul is not fully gone, nor fully reborn. It hovers between worlds, half in memory, half in eternity. Some souls drift near their homes, invisible yet aware. They visit loved ones, the places they cherished, their temples, rivers, childhood homes. They see, they feel, but they cannot touch or speak. If they linger too long, unable to let go, they may become restless spirits, bound not by curse but by attachment. That is why our ancestors lit lamps, chanted mantras, and performed rituals for 13 days, not out of superstition, but to build an energy bridge for the soul to move on. When we cry endlessly, saying, "Don't leave me," we hold them back. But when we whisper, "Go, you are free, travel in peace," we open their wings. The moment of choice, rebirth or rest. Now the 13th night approaches, the final dawn of the soul's journey. The soul has seen its karma, its love, its desires. Now comes the divine decision. Will it take birth again, like a seed returning to soil for a new blossom? Or will it rest for a while, in the serene womb of the cosmos? Some souls, weary of the cycle, choose to rest, floating in realms of light, sound, and bliss, communing silently with higher beings, bathing in pure awareness. Others, moved by unfinished love or lessons, whisper to the universe, "I will return." Their energy begins to align with a new womb, a new family, a new beginning. And so, the circle continues. Rebirth is not punishment. It is the soul's own choice to evolve. The 13th day, farewell in light. 13 nights have passed. The family gathers. The lamps burn softly. The prayers rise like incense to the unseen. But these rites are not for the dead alone. They are for the living, for those learning to release with love. When we offer food, prayers, and tears with devotion, those vibrations reach the soul. When we chant, the sound touches its consciousness. When we cry with love, not attachment, the soul feels our peace and moves forward. The final offering, the last pinda, is not merely grains and water. It is a message that says, "Go, beloved soul. You are free. Your journey continues. The eternal secret. People often ask, does the soul return? The answer is, it never truly leaves. It lives on, in your thoughts, your actions, your compassion. If you release it with love, it becomes your guardian energy. If you hold it with grief, it remains bound by sorrow. That is why the true meaning of the 13-day ritual is not to feed the body, but to transform love into light. The soul may rest in peace, reincarnate into a new form, or dissolve into divine consciousness. But it is never lost. No one truly dies. They simply change form, like air that cannot be seen but can be felt, like sunlight that warms your spirit even when unseen. The soul continues, eternal, radiant, and near. So next time you lose someone, don't bid them farewell in tears. Whisper gently, go. May your journey be divine. And when we meet again, may I recognize you. The journey ends, yet begins again. What you have heard today is not just philosophy. It is a memory your own soul already knows. Every being, young or old, rich or poor, will walk this same sacred path. 13 days, 13 nights, one great decision. Death is not the end. It is the doorway to truth, freedom, and love. If you are grieving today, or searching for meaning, know that you are not alone. Your prayers, your thoughts, your love, they all reach the one you miss. They are closer than you think. And as Yogananda said, the soul is immortal. Death is merely the night before a new dawn. So, light a lamp tonight, not for sorrow, but for peace. For every soul that departs, and every heart that learns to let go in love. Because in the end, no one dies, we all simply awaken.